Yeah, that certainly is a concern. There's no question. The legislature might try to intervene. I'm sure they will try to intervene. I hope the governor changes his mind, but he said that he's going to introduce legislation next year. You know, as I said, that we are currently an independent board. We'll see how that goes. By the same token, there are a lot of people in New Orleans who like the idea of having a non-political board. We were created by a constitutional amendment with 81% of the vote. And next year is an election year. So, I mean, we're not naive. We understand politics or politics, and it'll be an issue. But I don't think you can find a single person in the legislature who's going to tell you they're against flood protection. You know, some people have talked to me about the lawsuit the city of New Orleans filed against gun manufacturers, which was retroactively canceled by the legislature. This is different for two reasons. Number one, we have a contract. And I'm an historian. I can tell you the Dartmouth College case, argued by Daniel Webster before John Marshall in I forgot the year. I think it was 1830, probably earlier than that. That established the sanctity of contracts. New Orleans was using its own attorneys. A different contractual arrangement. That's number one. And just the politics of flood protection are much, much different than the politics of gun control. Yeah.
Are any private landowners involved in the lawsuit?
No, there's only, it is just our authority, the Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority East, which legally is a levee board in itself. And we are, as I said earlier, the B board for the Orleans, East Jefferson, and Lake Bourne levee districts still exist as separate entities. But they unified one board to oversee those three. We try to act in as unified a fashion at each of those levee districts as the law allows. Want to talk LSU football? Yeah.
John, I have a question just for a point of clarification. You talked about what would it take to trigger dropping the lawsuit and then having the attorneys waive their contract or arbitration?
Well, we didn't say we would drop the lawsuit.
All the trigger.
We said we would put a pause on the substantive parts of the lawsuit. Some of the procedural parts of it would continue to establish whether or not we've been accused of not having standing. I think it's very useful to establish that we have standing. If in fact we don't, then there's no lawsuit. I mean, something like that is going to continue in the legal process. We are not abandoning that. But on anything that's more substantive part of the case, we were willing to put a pause on that. And then, of course, if whatever develops actually seems to be fruitful, it's in good faith, we're making progress, then of course we would continue that pause. And then and hopefully it would be great if we ended up deciding to drop the lawsuit because there's a solution to the problem. And as I said earlier, our board is not the problem. The problem is the loss of the coast. If we can get a substantial amount of money to address coastal problems, then and this came out of this process, then our attorneys have agreed to go to arbitration with the industry to collect their fee. Taxpayers may not pay their fee.
Let's make this the last question, please.
Oh, there is one. Okay.
I'll do the last question. Once the lawsuit, let's say, comes to fruition, you win a lot of money, what is the plan then? How will that money be spent?
It is, as I said earlier, it is inconceivable to me that we could win enough money to carry out the master plan in our jurisdiction. We would start applying it to master plan projects. First, by law, we have to comply with the master plan. Second, And in that sense, we are a subsidiary of the CPRA. And second, we love the master plan. We think it's a great plan. So we would start doing projects related to the master plan. There are just so many things that we could do. And you know, some of it involves restoration. I mean, make no mistake, I don't know how much you know about the issue of coastal land loss, but we are not going to rebuild 2,000 square miles of land that are lost. They're gone. That's not coming back ever. The best that we can hope for is to begin to approach, and this is optimistic, no net loss. So you lose land someplace, you build it somewhere else. And where we would build the land would be where it protects populated areas. So, as I say, some of the money would go perhaps to that, but we certainly haven't started the plan. But everything we did would be consistent with the master plan. Some might go to raising levees, which continually subside, better armoring for the levees, so when a storm greater than the storm that they're designed to survive comes, and then they'll keep going. I guess that's about it. Thank you very much.